And someone else who's been doing a great show this week is our Artist of the Week. So much so that they've been featured on Love Island.
The BBC introducing
Artist of the Week.
Hi Andrew, it's Keith Forde here from Malvern. I'm originally from Limerick in Ireland. I moved over here about 9 years ago. My wife is from Malvern originally and her family are here, so we know the area quite well and we've always planned on living here. There seems to be a strong music scene here in Malvern. There's regular gigs on at the Malvern Cube, and I also see there's a lot of gigs on at the Old Con Club, and there's also quite a few open mic nights. I know there's one up at the West Malvern Social Club and one at the Great Malvern Hotel, so there seems to be a lot of musicians here in Malvern, which is great. I would describe my music as indie pop, but it's also been described as indie Americana and also sometimes described as folk rock. I think it has a very 90s vibe going on with it, like a Britpop sound, but also mix that sound with like a 60s rock or folk rock sound. I'm influenced by what I would describe as classic songwriting. Songs by the Beatles, Paul Simon, Bob Dylan, more recent bands like 90s bands, Oasis, Charlatans, James. You've got drums, you've got bass, you've got electric guitars, acoustic guitars, maybe some organ and piano. Kind of like real instruments rather than electronic instruments. I went to see Oasis play in Cork when I was 15. Up to that point I was into music, I was playing a little bit of guitar and stuff, but I think after that gig, that's when I really wanted to start a band. Everything else put on the back burner, like sport and schools. I wanted to be in a band and I wanted to play music, I wanted to write songs, especially original music. Music is a big part of the Irish culture, and for me, especially growing up, I shared a bedroom with my two brothers. One of them played guitar and he played in a band. I think that had a big influence on me. Anytime you go to family parties or weddings or anything, there was always a big sing song. Music was everywhere for me growing up. Originally I taught myself how to play the guitar. Then when I got a bit older I got some lessons and then some grades. I've got some nice guitars. I've got a Gibson SG, it's probably about 25 years old. And I also have Fender Telecaster Deluxe, USA made one, which is a really nice guitar. I find inspiration from the people I meet and the scenarios I find myself in or scenarios that I've been through. Like for example, my most recent song, Summer Romance. That's about looking back at a summer holiday as a teenager in the 1990s and meeting a girl on holidays and feeling like you're in love, but then realising that she's not in love with you and that you see her with somebody else. That whole scenario about being young and vulnerable, but now looking back at it with a bit more nostalgia and not feel as bad about it and laugh about it in a way. For me, a good way to keep inspired is to collaborate with other people. They can bring an energy, they can bring ideas. Even if you're not feeling very inspired, they could say a line about something that could really spark off an idea in your mind, or they might have a sequence of chords or a melody and then that might give you an idea for lyrics. So yeah, I find collaborating is a really good way of finding inspiration. In everyday life I'm quite laid back, but when I play music I find it hard just to stand still. You've got to really move about, and especially when you're singing, to be able to hit the higher notes. For me, I have to be quite expressive. I think I pull quite a few faces when I perform, especially when I sing. That's probably what I'm best known for. I think one of my best gigs was when I was playing in a rock band in Ireland and we supported the Wonder Stuff in Dublin, and I remember that being a really great gig. It was sold out and I was a big fan of the Wonder Stuff, so get to share a stage with them in a dressing room, speak to them and then go out and play a great gig, and we got an excellent response. That was really good. And also, again, we supported the Editors. Supported them on a few gigs, but I remember the one in Cork being really good, and the guys came up to us afterwards and they really liked the stuff, so they're probably the two best gigs. I think one of the worst gigs for me, again, it was when I was playing in a band in Ireland. We came over to London to do a showcase for some record companies in Dublin Castle in Camden Town. And I remember the night before I wasn't feeling very well. I think I got some food poisoning or something. But the day of the gig I felt terrible. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to play it. Yeah, I got up on stage and I didn't know if I was going to collapse or what, but somehow I managed to get through the gig. So from my perspective it was terrible, but the gig actually turned out really well, and our manager at the time, he was a friend with Paul Cook, the drummer with the Sex Pistols, and he was at the gig, so we met him afterwards, and in the end it turned out good, but for me personally it was a bit of a nightmare. I played in a band and we got quite well known in Canada, especially Toronto. Our album did well on college radio and we went over 4 times in 1 year for like weeks on end to play gigs. And we had a couple of songs in TV shows in Canada and America. Yeah, we were like selling out gigs. We caused a bit of a stir actually there for about a year or two. One of my biggest successes to date would be just recently, a couple of weeks ago, a song I co-wrote with a German producer called Stefan Aaron. It was used in episode 1 of Love Island in the UK. That was a big episode. I think it had 5 million viewers and about 7 million streams so far. So yeah, that was a massive break for me as a songwriter. So when I'm not making music, I like to go running. I take part in 10k events and half marathon events. So this year I've done the Paris half marathon, and closer to home I've done the Worcester half marathon. And in September I plan to do the Worcester City half marathon. So yeah, that's something I really enjoy. I like to play chess. I played it at club level when I was a teenager, but recently during lockdown I got back into it again, playing online. I love writing music, I love playing music, I love talking about music, I love being around musicians. It excites me, it brings me energy, it's something that I'm really passionate about. I'd love to work with Bob Dylan. I think he's possibly my favourite songwriter of all time. I love his storytelling, I love his lyrics, his melodies, and the way he can keep you captivated with just a guitar and a voice. For me, especially his early stuff, is very believable when I listen to it. I'm always attracted to songwriters and singers who you believe them when they sing.
They're putting chairs on the table, they're telling me to go. It seems the party's over, but I've ended up alone. It's gone wrong, so wrong now. There's fog in my head, bad weather in my brain. They're turning up the lights and they're turning up my pain. It's gone wrong.